dude who knows how to lifts really well.
Yeah.
Works really hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just good to get into certain positions and just, move a certain way to feel a certain muscle. So it was so so real, isolated, like microscopic, like bodybuilding training. Like we were literally like, you feel here, like here.
Yeah.
And pull back and feel there. And it's like, that's where you were getting it. And I was just like, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because you go on social media and people are like, oh, well, feel, it's not about feel and it's not about this. And I'm like, maybe at the highest level it is.
Yeah.
Like you should at some
point. It's not
point.
about feel when you're strong. Like it's not about feel until you're strong.
Yeah,
that would
absolutely.
be my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like a couple of girls at the moment that we spoke about, I'm working on their back heaps.
Yep.
And usually I haven't had like a glaringly obvious muscle deficiency for quite a while.
Yeah.
In terms of like, this is actually holding you back. Like I think both of them also have chronic back pain.
Yeah.
And
want big glutes.
They have monster glutes, a pair of them.
Yeah.
So it's like your just upper body is just not communicating.
Haven't given it the time, so it's super weak.
Yeah.
And then now there's a huge disconnect when you try and get in a position to load your back.
Yeah. And it's just like execution wise, like both bent over rows are at like fucking 80 degrees.
Makes perfect sense.
It's like, you got a bit over, man.
Yeah.
Like you have a look at the way they're training and you're like, oh, this is missing heaps. And one of my girls, I think we've been focusing on it for 4 weeks. She's like, I have lat DOMs today. She's like, I'm going to make it. It's like, okay, so don't tell me that like feel and DOMs are not good indicators of training, because it's like, it's the first time she's fucking felt them for years.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah. And this is in a powerlifting situation. It's like, it's really it's really affecting her ability to progress in her deadlifts by not having them.
Yeah.
And maybe the back pain as well. We don't know, but back pain's such a fucking rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
Rabbit hole.
So complicated.
Yeah. And then for like my other client who's physique focused, it's like insane lower body, but wants it bigger, but can't train hard. Because it's like, as soon as the back pump comes, it's over.
Yeah.
Like you can't push the lower body the way we want it to. So it's actually hindering your progress. So if you can't feel it, there's actually some value in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, even like post session, I had lat cramps and shit. I'm like, well, fucking surely that's a decent proxy that like we did it, and they're not sore. It's funny, like they didn't pull up sore. But like after the workout, I was like sitting at the dealership and I was like hunched over, and I'm like, all right, this is the sign of a good session.
Yeah.
The
tissue that I was targeting is
fatigue,
copped a beating.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're training. It was funny. We're training arms, and we're doing rope curls, and he was over on the pre-char. So I pulled the weight down the stack, but I didn't want to pull it all the way down the bottom, obviously, because it'd be too realistic. So I pulled the weight down probably like 3 or 4 plates.
Yeah.
And I've walked away and I'm doing the preach curls. I look back and he's fucking like grabbed the bar and he's just like, he's doing it, right? And then he comes over and he's like, did you lift that weight? And I was like, and then I just erupted into laughter. I was just like,
no, sir.
Do I look like I lifted that weight with these fucking arms? He's just like, fuck, man, I grabbed it. And I was like, fucking hell, I'm doing this if he's done it. I fucking knew he would do it too. I'm just like, I know people like you.
Yeah.
I'm putting that fucking weight
I know what's
down.
going to happen.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like we're having a good time, but it's like you still want to outlift each other.
Yeah, because I'm bigger than you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was good. It's fun.
Yeah. That's good. Do you guys have questions?
I do have questions. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Get stuck into them?
Yeah.
We haven't done questions in a while. All right, so this is not a fitness-related one, but we'll start with an easy one.
Awesome.
If you only had to shower once a day, right? I don't know if you shower more than that, but I do.
Depends.
So when
it's really cold where I live.
Well, let's start. When would you shower more than once a day? So you go to the gym?
Yeah, if it's hot.
Yeah, if you go to the gym, it's hot. Yeah. So you do like what, like a morning and night type deal, or morning post-workout type deal?
So the nighttime is the variable.
Yeah.
Because I can't function without a shower in the morning.
You can't function without a shower in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So I even because it's been cold, showered at night, woke up and I was like, I don't need a shower.
But I want one.
But I have to have one. Because I'm not a person.
Yeah. So this may not surprise. Well, this won't surprise you, but I sometimes will shower in the morning, shower after my training, and shower before bed.
Yeah. My skin would fall off.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's. I don't know.
Yeah, I would actually have to follow my moisturising routine to do such things.
Yeah. I don't always shower before bed if I've showered.
So there's a question: if you only could shower once at a time.
So if you only could shower once a day, when would you do it? Because like you just said,
first thing in the morning.
Yeah. So first thing in the morning, but that means that you would go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then go to bed.
Yeah.
Like from the gym.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play that card?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm doing it after.
I'm not a shower every night guy anyway.
Yeah.
So
what if you?
Maybe I'm disgusting, but yeah.
So you always shower in the morning though.
Yeah. And the PM showers sometimes.
Yeah. I would have to do it after the gym. I'm sweaty.
Yeah.
Sweaty gym guy.
Yeah.
So wherever that was.
I'm very fortunate, and this has been told by my wife, that I don't stink.
Yeah, neither do I. I just I feel slimy.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes I can sleep. If I haven't showered before bed, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But have you ever gotten into bed and you feel slimy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go have a shower. I'm like, sorry, babe, I've got to.
Yeah.
It's going to take about another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'll go have a shower and I'll feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just let everyone into how fresh as I am. Which I'm pretty sure everyone's worked that out by now. Quick break in the episode, guys. If you're looking for more information on how you can look, feel, and perform better, head over to our website, take advantage of all of the content that we have there, even the YouTube channels, plenty of videos and stuff on there. Also, rotating free resources that you guys can access completely free. Okay, let's get back to the episode. See, because it's a bodybuilding podcast, all bodybuilding questions.
Yeah.
I'm
a bodybuilder now. It's all right.
What are some bodybuilding bro myths that actually might be true?
Feeling the muscle.
This is so funny.
DOMs.
When I read this question and I was trying to articulate how to answer it, I think where I thought about it the most is there's a lot of things that we don't really know the answers to, and there's even there's a lot of things that we disregard. We disregard just because we can't prove them that bodybuilders do. So I can't sit here and just itemize all of these things. But if you just look at say you take I don't know, fucking 10 bodybuilders that are not even at the top of the sport.
Yeah, but decent.
Yeah, maybe they're professionals. They've done 1 or 2 shows. Right,
Yep.
let's just say. You line them all up, and it's I don't even care if it's how you program.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that big of a deal once you get the buy-in and do the low-hanging fruit. But if you do the meal frequency, the types of food, you do all of the stuff.
Yeah.
If you just take all the commonalities and you overlap them, there would be very, very similarities, and then they would contradict. They would still, some of those things would still contradict what
health,
the data and the research and stuff would say.
Yeah. So they only eat 12 foods and
even I don't know,
eat 6 times a day, eat protein post workout.
Should these people be slamming a drink? Should that post workout meal be immediately after their training and not 30 minutes later?
Yeah.
If you're fucking 300 pounds, maybe you should.
Yeah.
I feel there's so many things that get left on the table that they just get disregarded because you can't prove them.
Yeah.
When in some instances they're probably never going to be able to do these I hate using the word fucking studies, but on someone who's that size.
Yeah.
But then they sit there and they go, oh well, if I don't do this, I'll lose this much weight, or if I miss this meal, the next day I'm 3 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
And they're just oh, you're just a stupid meathead.
Yeah.
What do you know?
It's the scientific method is a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And they measure everything, they track everything.
But they're stupid, apparently.
Make decisions based on the results. Yeah.
But they're stupid, but then at the end of the day, you go to sleep crying every night trying to look like them.
Yeah.
And you don't. So the whole, I don't know, sometimes I think there's a bit of merit too to even if something maybe isn't that true, it's following something and committing to it may have just as much benefit.
Yeah.
So even if, let's say for argument's sake, the anabolic window thing, right? So it's you don't have to go straight from the gym to your last rep to your bag to have your
Chemist
shake.
Warehouse to get your white chocolate protein bar.
But it's well, what if you did it?
Yeah.
What's the benefit? What's the detriment of not doing it?
Yeah.
What's the detriment of not having it?
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel
Yeah, it's like you don't have to foam roll to improve mobility, but
what if you did it?
Yeah. I used to feel pretty good when I did it.
Yeah. And just using that, it's like, shouldn't you try some things yourselves and see where it lands? Even, a bro splitting or whatever, like, it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's a myth, but it's just like, I'm just saying it's like considered sometimes like a suboptimal way to train. But it's like, how is it a suboptimal way to train if the biggest people on the planet do it?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you like it, why can't you do it?
I am starting to get to coming around on the bro splits.
I wasn't saying that as in because I know you don't like it.
I know, but I'm coming around on the idea of tomorrow doesn't matter.
What does it? You had to worry about tomorrow because you were a powerlifter.
I'm starting to like that.
I think it's that, and I think that's what puts you in the zone for the session.
Yeah, so I'm like we were talking about last session, like going to failure. It's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like it just. There's been a couple of times, so I have shoulders as day 4, chest as day 1. There's been a couple of times that I've had to do shoulders on the Sunday, and I'm going to train Monday, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to press tomorrow, and I was like, oh fuck, I never think about that anymore. Like it's just train as hard as you like,
and the next day,
don't train legs hard because you've got the expo all weekend. But everything else is just like fucking send it. Yeah, which I'm digging it. Digging it.
Yeah, like I know mentally, I know a lot of people can show up that way.
Yeah.
And then once you get the buy-in and your goals mean maybe a little bit more, then you're like, hey man, like maybe we should try a push-pull leg, leg, upper lower. Yeah. Put rest day in between this and
so I think what I'm finding now, like I extended this block. I think after this block, I'll be like, I can train calves twice a week. I can train lateral raises 3 times a week.
Yeah, I can train biceps a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm then like the next program will kind of be like, this can handle more frequency, and I want more volume. I want bigger lateral delts. I want bigger triceps. Yeah, I can train them
every day
without much issue. Yeah, like if I'm training 4 days a week, I'll probably put them in 3 of my programs, like 3 days of my program, and be fine. So I think that's the natural course that's happening now, but not like I'm gonna fucking RDL this day and squat this day. Yeah. Like I'm still like, one leg day is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing 1.5 leg days, but it's funny, like I still send it so hard on the 1 leg day that every second time the half a leg day comes around, like I don't really end up doing it. Yeah. I just do the calves. Yeah. And then so it's like I do 1.5 leg days every second week.
Yeah. So you're doing 1.25 leg days. Yeah. On average per week.
Which my normal leg days stacked, which is why, because I'm like, by the time I do like...
So you're doing 2.5 a fortnight, basically.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Because it's like by the time you do like the calves, the adductors, and then you do like a squat, and you got a leg curl, you got to do a leg extension. There's 6 exercises, and I haven't done a hinge yet.
Yeah. Yeah, so that I've been struggling with that too. So I'm doing line leg curl into Hatfield, reverse lunge into leg extension. And then I heard you say it the other day about the 45 degree with a quad pump. And like that it's like excruciating. And I was like, when you said it, I was like, really? I've never experienced that before. Bro, I got in this thing to warm up with just my body weight, and I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. I never put
bro
45s
yeah,
on
so I just did my
day
calves and went home. Yes, I train calves. Fuck off.
Yeah. It's so uncomfortable, man.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this sucks,
and like
man.
our one's real shit because like the pad's probably 40 years old.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been replaced. So it's literally like,
it's good.
Yeah. Fucking quads on, like a board of wood.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming around the old blow splits, I knew it'd wear on you.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm enjoying training at the moment.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. Why is everybody talking about training volume in bodybuilding these days? I feel like everyone's always going to talk about the main vectors of particular bodybuilding. In this case, the main vectors of bodybuilding. So when you look at like what's going to drive the bodybuilding stimulus, protein, calories, tension or intensity, training volume, and tension can sit above training intensity and training volume. So obviously because everyone's expression of those vectors of bodybuilding and how to bodybuild are a little bit different, we're then going to get these camps and debates on what the best method is.
Yeah.
You know, it's because it's a marketing thing as well, obviously, for someone who pushes an agenda.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got a specific style of training, live and die by the sword type deal.
Yeah, it's way better to say it's this. Like to have a thing, and this is my thing, and this is what I do, and I have a secret, because we were talking about it, like us looking for the secret for 10 years. It's like, the secret is 10 years.
Yeah.
So
10 years and you're 20 kilos of muscle, or whatever it is.
Correct. Yeah. So it's like being able to sell the secret. Volume is a nice, easy one to tap into and talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And no one can say you're wrong.
Yeah, and like if you remove, so whoever asked this question and anyone who's curious, right, remove training volume and insert and insert and insert, you'll find that we're always talking about the same things. Like Ben and I aren't talking about or haven't seen new things that have popped up into the bodybuilding space really.
Yeah. Ever.
When?
Yeah.
Like we're still talking about volume in like 2014.
I would say since flexible dieting.
Yeah.
Macro tracking was the last revolutionary thing to happen in physique sports.
Yep. Yeah, because like even before that, like, I mean, I get like we can rationalize things better now, so maybe that's why things resurface. Because like training volume was like you either did high volume or low volume. Yeah. Like even coming out of uni, it was like you either do low reps and your style of training is this, or you do high reps and your style of training is this. And then if you wanted to, you'd meet in the middle if you were like a power builder or someone who values strength and size. And then now we've been able to rationalize, what rep ranges build muscle? And okay, cool, that gives us an indication. And then it's like, what's the volume tolerance like for each muscle group to elicit muscle growth? That's fucking wild when you look at it, because it's like this study says that it's 5 sets. This study says it's 10. This one got favorable growth in the triceps at 45 sets of workout.
Yeah.
These people did 50 sets of squats in a week.
Yeah.
You know, so you're like, well, fuck. Not only is it a major topic to talk about because it's a bit great vector or driver of growth, it's also so fucking broad in terms of how people are explaining the results.
And that's what I mean. Like no one can say you're wrong because no one's got definitive answers, but people will say they're wrong because you're in a camp.
Correct.
It's like, but I got results lifting heavy. It's like, huh? So?
Yeah.
But that's my thing now, so I'm the lift heavy guy.
Yeah. And then anyone that like supports that message
jumps on board.
Is going to follow that to a T, and they're going to get results.
Yeah.
And then the argument is, well, they've just gotten a result if they just followed whatever they followed.
Yeah. Most
likely, but they just liked that person.
That model.
And that model.
Yeah.
You know, which is fine. You know, everyone's got a style. Like, I could go, even it's funny, like training with Matt the other day, I giggled when he said low rep and said 8 to 10 reps.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, like you are an actual bodybuilder. Like, here I am, like 5 to 8.
Threes. Yeah.
Like 5 to 8. And then we're laughing, like, you know, because Jess was like, I've got a high volume session today.
Yeah.
She's doing like 5s or something. We're just like,
yeah.
So yeah, even that, like, just so much variance in these variables and numbers and how they respond and stuff. It's like you're always like we're always going to be talking about these things.
Yeah. It's so funny how so much stuff that we talk about is just not defined. Yeah. I reckon like 90% of internet arguments are based on people's different interpretation of what a word means.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like someone comes out, it's like low volume shit. It's like, well, what does low volume mean? Yeah. They're like 10 sets. Like that's
not low volume.
50's low volume, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, but 50's high volume for a powerlifter. It's so. Yeah. Most people just fight over someone else believing that word means different. I remember the back and forths we had about sales. It's like, no, you're just making sales mean being disgusting. Yeah, that's not what sales is. Yeah,
like selling insurance to people who don't need it.
Correct.
So it's not sales. Yeah. So everyone's selling something, be it themselves or product. Yeah. You know, especially if you have a following on social media, it's like you're selling something, bro.
Yeah, it's maybe why you don't like sales, because you think sales is
and maybe that's why you get sales, is because you just remove that. Yeah. Just be yourself and people like you. Yeah. Well,
it's interesting.
But yeah, that'll be the debate forever, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
It's like how long, protein, etc. The other thing as well is like, remember that like science. Like when people talk about science and they talk about data and research, like we're talking about the ability to ask a question and the ability to give an answer. Like, so it's not, it shouldn't be, when all these things come out, they should be just like challenging some of the parts that you previously believed in, as well as like allowing you to keep some of the things that you still think are valuable and maybe molding it or just slowly moving it. Like you shouldn't be, if you're one of those people who's like, just like this thing comes out and it's like, 50 sets is, favorable for quad growth, whatever the fuck that study was.
Yeah.
And they're like, cool, fucking high volume for everything for the next month,
Is that as prevalent in bodybuilding as it is in like, we'll say performance, because it's like S&C and powerlifting are fucking just so bad for it.
I don't see it a lot, but then like, I also see a lot of people just write like terrible programs. It's like 30 sets a session. Yeah. It's like, how do you do 30 sets a session?
But you don't see the evidence of like the flip on.
No,
like,
but I don't.
We had the like the shallow wave.
Yeah.
And like every fucking performance orientated coach, whether it was strength or like field performance or whatever, was like stability. And stability was everything, including me.
Yeah.
And stability was fucking everything. And then about 2 years later, maybe even 18 months later, was like stability means not falling over.
Yeah.
And like just train, just do movement. You don't have to roll on the floor. It's like, motherfucker, you were like cutting yourself to blood packed that standing on one leg and doing a single leg RDL before you squat was the only way
to get prepared 18
months ago
a squat session. Yeah.
And now you're like, oh no, just get under the bar, you'll be fine.
See how you feel. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I feel like it would happen, obviously, like, and that's a symptom of not quite having enough answers covered, with the way you understand said topic.
Yeah.
Because, the best example of where I feel like I'm at with my education and experience is like, even when we presented for the programming workshop, and then like something come out about like
that day.
I think it was like rep and reserve.
Yeah.
And it came out that day, and I was like, I'm not going to fucking throw down a whole slide because of that.
Yeah.
So I just was like, this is what I think.
Yeah.
And I just added this in as a consideration, and this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have the ability to look at two different ways of it, which is what you should be doing.
Anyway,
you shouldn't really be sitting there going, well, this one's stupid, and this is how you do it. Like, you should just be like, this is what's presented, and this is how I would use it.
Yeah.
So it was like stacking rep and reserve at a higher level at the start of the session, because you don't have to train as close to failure, because you get the same level of motor recruitment, because you don't have fatigue surmounting and affecting performance. And then it's like, or you can stop shy at the start of the session and then just bring it down, like the rep and reserve. Or if it's heavy, you don't have to train as close to failure when it's heavy, but when it is light,
send it.
Get after it. It's like, but there's two different ways to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, well, what if it's what if it's light, but at the start of the session, it's like, do I not? And it's like, well, then it's like, oh, is it a weak muscle group? Is it a this? You're like, fuck, man. Like, you can literally go crazy just thinking about like, what is the answer? And there's no answer, but at least experienced people like you and I can sit there and go, this is how we would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I have one of my girls during the week, like, what's more important, the rep range or the RPE or the RIR? And I was like, your rep range is going to have to go up to stick to the RIR. And then at some point, you're going to have to make a weight jump and chase reps that's going to break their RIR.
Yeah.
Like, they're all just kind of like, training 2 reps of failure means train pretty hard and don't hurt yourself. But I want to see you progress in either reps or load every week. Like, that's what we're chasing.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if this person's like a powerlifter, but you don't get on the platform.
Physique, actually.
Well, either way, it's like, fuck, man, like, you just got to try sometimes. Like, sometimes... those variables in a way kind of murk the waters a little bit. Yeah. I think it's just don't fucking send it every time.
Yeah. And even like, how do you interpret? Like, I write 2 rep and reserve just as like, your last rep looks different. Like, when I write 2 RR, that's what I see in my head. Like, your last rep looked different. That's like, for me, like, you're there. You're not burying yourself, like, but you're there. You need to. Yeah. And then sometimes I want you to bury yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an interesting, that whole just communicating. Yeah. Again, it's everyone has different like impression of what that means.
Sometimes I'd wonder, like, what it'd be like if you just remove that variable, though.
Yeah, just aim for progress every week. I have thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, my guys have very distinct definitions of what I mean.
Yeah, I think it matters for the top end lifts, less for everything else.
And like, because it's like how descriptive and how specific do you go? Because it's like, well, no one's ever trained in 0 rep and reserve of like a heavy compound exercise, really.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, what type of
and avoiding death?
Yeah, and it's like, well, then what type of failure is it? Are you distinguishing the two? And then it's like, come on, man, like that is just nuts.
Yeah.
It's just like train hard and progress the reps and the weight in a safe environment and get to a point in your session where you go, I don't know if I could have done another one of those.
Yeah.
You know?
Win.
And then there'll be movements that are usually higher in reps and maybe fixed range.
Yeah.
And you'll go,
I definitely couldn't have done
or you'll go, I think I can do one more, maybe.
Yeah.
And you'll try and you won't die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
like, turns out I can't.
Yeah, it's like if I want to preach curl, it's like, oh, I'll try one more. Oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like it's done. You know, when you try like and you got a fucking bar on your back, you're like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Like I'm up here, I don't know if I'm gonna get back down. Yeah. There's so many instances like that. Or you can no one wants to groove their way back up out of a squat. It's like, it's just like,
Don't do that. Yeah.
It's not nice, man. Yeah. It's like it's gonna fuck you up.
I had a bit of a moment on the assisted dip machine this week.
Yeah.
I did 12 last week. I have to get 13.
I love that.
Expo obviously wasn't prime prep to go into training and progress your training.
Yeah.
Fuck. I got like to level and I was like, how do I get out of this thing? Like how do I get to the step from here? Because there is no more extension happening. This is it.
Let go and hope you land?
No, I found the footing to be able to just push myself off, but I was like, I'm in real trouble here. This is not a go to failure exercise, Ben.
No.
Regular dip, sure, because you just like let go, right?
Yeah,
but
well, that's
on
it.
the assisted machine, I didn't really think it through.
Down.
I'm like, I have no feet.
Help. I'm stuck.